Folks, it's official. Fairies are coming to The Sims 4. I'm literally, as you can imagine, so excited. At the time that I'm filming this, I think there's still a few weeks before the pack is officially released. Although we're still a few weeks out from the official release of the Fairies pack, I thought it could be fun to come into The Sims 4 today and build a, tiny home fairy treehouse village, if you will. Yes, unfortunately, I have already built the entire village off of camera, and you're probably wondering, okay girl, well then, literally what is this video going to be? Well, okay, what we're going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be furnishing all of the interiors of the tree houses that I built. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to take you over to the Fairy Treehouse Village, and I will show you all around, explain where my head was at, what my vision was for this village, and then we will start with furnishing the interior of each fairy treehouse. So without further ado, girl, simply there's nothing more to be said. Let's head over to the Fairy Treehouse Village. Okay, here we are at the Fairy Treehouse Village. I don't even know if I'm fully done with the exterior, but I feel happy with how it looks for now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk through each of these little lots, kind of explain what my vision was and what each treehouse represents, and then we will move on to furnishing the interiors of each one. Why don't we start... First, let me just kind of give you a little tour all around of what these look like. These turned out so cool. Why don't we start at this townhouse here? So my inspiration for this townhouse was like a gothic fairy. What that means, girl, I don't know. I have no idea, okay? I just kind of Googled random fairy aesthetics and I picked like 4, obviously. So gothic was one that I saw and I thought that could be really cool to execute in The Sims. You're wondering about the landscaping. Yep, folks, you're seeing that with your own 2 eyes. You are not making things up. You are not hallucinating. The landscaping is, in fact, tombstones. That's it. That's all. What else is there to say? I love how this came out. Why don't we come this way? So this treehouse over here is so cute. Oh, this treehouse is for a, nature, flower, meadow inspired kind of fairy. I don't know what that means either. Nature, garden, flower fairy. This fairy just has a little balcony back here. I put the flower arranging table, and then I gave this fairy a little picnic blanket with a cooler, and then these cute little monkey bars. And then this is really just a little trail. I popped a few benches all throughout, and I can't wait to show you what this place looks like at night. It is literally so cute lit up. This is going to be our celestial crystal moon fairy. Okay, I don't know what it means, right? But it's just so cute. This treehouse turned out super cute. I'm really happy with the exterior of this one too. I popped a telescope. I actually popped a couple of telescopes over here. I put the crystal creation table. I don't know what it's called. And then I put this thing here. I forget what it's called, but something about transporting to a different world or something. I thought that kind of fit the vibe. I really like this one a lot. This one looks super cool at night. I'll show you guys this whole lot lit up at night in a second. But yeah, I really like how this one turned out. And then for the final fairy treehouse, this is going to be for the cottagecore fairy. So, girl, again, I don't know. You can clearly see the vibes, right? You can see the vibes. I popped this, animal cow shelter shed thing. I put the chicken coop, the little bee home. Over here, I put the little watering troughs, along with some feeding troughs over there. I think those are for horses. I don't know. Folks, I don't ever play The Sims. I'm not into the gameplay basically at all. So the functionality of these things, I'm not really too sure. So I'm just going for the aesthetic and the vibes. So now let me show you what this lot looks like lit up at night. Folks, I fear it's incredible. It is so cute. And I absolutely love this whole area right here. I mean, this whole thing really looks so cool, but this is just giving like rainbow, super pretty and lit up. I love it. Which one do I want to start with? I honestly feel like I want to start with the Gothic Fairy. So why don't we move inside to the Gothic Fairy Treehouse and we will start furnishing the inside. Alright, so this is the bottom floor of our Gothic Fairy Treehouse. I think for now I'm going to go in with the Horse Ranch one. I really like this wallpaper from Life and Death, so we're going to go with that one for now. Normally I will usually paint the stairs to match the wallpaper, but I kind of like the pop of stone, so I think I'm gonna leave it like that. I believe I'm gonna go in with this kitchen counter set from Realm of Magic. I mean, folks, let's be clear, it's so pretty. And then we're gonna go in with the matching black set of fridge and stove from Realm of Magic too. This is what I have going on in the kitchen so far. I really like this. I definitely need to still like clutter up some more, but I like where this is going. Okay, I can't remember if this looks any different than what I last showed, but this is where I'm at. I think for now I'm gonna go in with this fireplace. So this is what I've added to the living room. I would like to go in and try to get a dining table. I just went in with these chairs from Realm of Magic. Let's pop some kind of plant of sorts. No, that won't be it. I mean, the OG swatch, yeah. Okay, cute, that'll do. An executive decision was made. I switched out those chairs for these ones from Vampires. I think these chairs are way cuter and they fit in the space way better. So happy with that. We need to change the overhead lighting. Now, what sucks is that my ring light that I use to film is incredibly bright. And so it makes it kind of hard for me to even see what I'm doing, like what the screen actually looks like. Alright, I've went ahead and added some things, taken some things away. The TV was not working for me, folks, not at all. It was not. I do like that better. The other curtains were not working for me at all. I want to try to go in with some clutter on top of the fireplace, but I'm looking for certain items. So let me... Oh my god. Okay. Right, folks, this is going to complete the Gothic Fairy living, dining, kitchen. I think this turned out really cool. Over to this side, we obviously have the kitchen and dining for the Gothic Fairy. And this is the entryway into the treehouse. Now we can move on to the upstairs. All right, folks, this is what I've come up with. So I quite literally just split this room in half just because it was really big and I figured I could get a little bit more out of the space by dividing it up a little bit. So far, this is what I have. I added a chair on either side. These are the chairs that match the couch downstairs. I went ahead and popped in this rug from the storybook kit. All right, so this is the hallway / landing area all complete. And this is what this side looks like over here. Through the little archway, I went ahead and popped in a desk with some candles and a couple of torches. I think we can move on to the bedroom. I'm gonna use those same curtains from downstairs. I think they just drape over these windows so beautifully, so we're gonna go for these. I'm gonna go for these base game nightstands. We're gonna go in with this rug. I think this is from Paranormal, just to kind of pull some of that gray from the wallpaper down into the floor to kind of tie everything together. I went ahead and added a little bit of clutter. I just love what these potions do in live mode, and I think it pulls in just a smidgen of color, folks. Just a smidgen of color. This is what I have so far on this side. But what do I put there? I guess I could get in some kind of plant. I think we'll go for this plant here. Alright, I had to do a little moving around because I added a bookshelf in here and completely forgot that I didn't place a dresser. So I added a dresser right here. This should still be functional for Sims to get through, honestly, so I'm not really worried about that. I think that this is going to be the Gothic Fairy bedroom all complete. I think this room turned out super cool. I'm really happy with this. And then I went ahead and finished the Gothic Fairy bathroom off camera just because, girl, it's boring, okay? So this is what that turned out like. And then here is this side of the bathroom. All right, folks, it is a completely new day for me. I had a little bit of time away from this build and I couldn't stop thinking about it, and the fact that I felt like it really, really needed more detail and needed way more like fairy-esque whimsical things. But then I got back to the lot and realized it actually wasn't as lackluster as I thought it was, but I did still go in and add some more details. I went ahead and updated some of the exterior bits just to give it a bit more of a whimsical fairy feel. I went ahead and added way more of these little cute flower light things. Obviously added this beautiful arch. Over to this side, I just added a little coffee table. I switched the swatch of the rug. The one before felt a little bit harsh, so I went in for the softer color one and then added some new wall sconces on the walls and these droopy herb things. Overall, I think that this looks way better and just brought it to life a little bit more. Why don't we head inside and I'll show you some of the changes we made as well. So now we are on the inside of the Gothic Fairy Treehouse. So as you can see, not many changes made. I did go ahead and add some random lanterns in throughout the build. I changed the entrance rug. The one before just wasn't doing it for me. Over to this side, again, not many changes. A couple of lanterns. I added a new picture at the top of the stairs. Then coming upstairs, I definitely made a few changes here. So just went ahead and added more lighting, more whimsical fairy-esque looking things. I went ahead and added this set of pictures here, and then I added some curtains on the windows. And I also added this little side table in the corner. I would say the biggest difference is I completely changed the bed. I think this is giving way more fairy energy. I really like this bed a lot. And then I also changed the curtains. I don't know really how I got to this combination, but this is literally 3 sets of curtains, and I just think that they look really nice together. I'm quite happy with how this Gothic Fairy bedroom turned out. Well, and as you can see, a little bit more has changed. I added a little bit more landscaping to the front of this. As you can see, I've also added these pole string lights. And I would say the biggest change, obviously, is that I've went ahead and added this fairy statue to the middle of our fairy garden pond, if you will. And I think that that looks so, so good. And as you can see, I added those same string lights. I'm feeling drawn to doing the cottagecore fairy treehouse next. I needed to bring this build to life and make it feel more fairy-esque. I've gone ahead and added some landscaping and things to the front of the house, just added more plants, just made it look more fairy-like, just made it look cuter than it was before. Alright, so I have gone ahead and picked out flooring and wallpaper for the main level of the cottagecore fairy treehouse. This is what I've come up with so far. The thing is that, like, I fear it's leaning very much fairy, straight up fairy, and not necessarily leaning into the cottage core. I was really struggling to find a couch, so that's kind of part of the problem. This is kind of the energy that I want to go for the other fairy treehouse. That's like the meadow garden. Like, this is kind of what I want to tap into, so I may have to restart. Alright, so I've reworked some things. This is what I have for now. I'm happy with this, I would say. Still needs far, far more cluttering. So just wanted to kind of give an update of what I have so far. Folks, I think this is going to complete the fairy cottagecore living room. Over to this side, I just got the bookshelf in with some plants, a clock, and a pet bed. And then over to that side, I've just got a little chair and a fireplace. Next, let's move on to the kitchen. Right now, I'm stuck between this cupboard set from the country kitchen or these from cottage living. And I could even go in with the wooden top, and I fear that's what I'll be doing. For now, I think I'm going to go in with this fridge from that new kitchen set. I just think it fits the vibe. I think it's really cute. All right, so this is what I've decided for the layout of the kitchen. If I'm honest, it's still not my favorite. Unless... What do we think, folks? What do we think? All right, I've added some clutter. I'm happy with where this is. There's still way more that needs to be done. I need to finish up cluttering the shelf. Need to add some curtains. I'd like to get some aprons and things in here. I also did add a pet bed, so we're gonna need to figure out where to put pet bowls. I think I'm just honestly gonna go in with these curtains from couldn't tell you what pack it is. And I'm gonna place them right in the middle of the window. I don't know that it makes a lot of sense. I'm also gonna place that wreath on the door. I think that looks nice. Okay, so I got a couple shelves up here. I wanna go in with some more clutter. And this is now this area all complete and cluttered. And then I also went ahead and moved that fireplace and popped in the little bird tree. I don't know, I think that could actually be kind of cute in here. Over to this side is where I put the fireplace and I moved the pet bed. And now this is what this side is looking like over here. This is going to be the greenhouse room all complete. I still think this turned out cute. So we are ready to move upstairs. So this is how our landing area turned out. I think this is super cute. Finally, we move on to the bedroom. I'd like to start out by getting some cute curtains in here. For now, these are the curtains that I'm gonna use. Folks, this is gonna be the bed. You actually can't be serious, it's so cute. I just added this bird thing in here. I tried to add the bunny little hut, and it told me it had to be outside. Which I guess makes sense, but I'm still bothered by it. So I added another bird thing. There's just gonna be hella birds flying through this house, okay? Which is personally my worst nightmare. I would hate that. But luckily I'm not the one living here. I actually think I'm gonna... Honey! You guys can meet my cat for the first time. Folks, this is my son Theodore. This is my kitty. This is my baby. That could be cute. Part of me thinks we should go in with this rug since I couldn't get the bunnies inside the bedroom. I think this is cute. Let's go for this chair from Cottage Living. It would be nice to also get a vanity in here. I did just use a vanity in my last build, but girl, what about it? My channel, my rules. All right, we're gonna go with this vanity, and then what chair? Does this match? I mean, no, not technically, but it clips on there and I don't feel like searching for a new one. Let's see. I lied, we'll be finding a different chair. I like the yellow. We're doing the yellow. That is gonna be the completed bedroom. I think that this room turned out super cute. Folks, I just went ahead and finished the bathroom off camera. Nothing special, okay? At all. That is our cottage core fairy tree house all complete. I went ahead and added these lights and this beam. Let me show you what that looks like at nighttime. I felt like it was just missing something at the front, and I think that really ties it together. And quite honestly, I'm ready to move on to the next tree house. Why don't we move on to our crystal moon stargazing fairy tree house? For the kitchen and living room, this is what I came up with. I used the same wallpaper throughout, but then I just kind of divided up the floor for where I'll put the kitchen. Really love these counters from Realm of Magic. I know I used these in the Gothic treehouse, but I fear they're simply too good. All right, folks, it's a completely different day for me. I was really not happy with whatever I had before. I was messing around with it for quite some time, and I finally landed on something that I actually really like. So this is what we're going for the kitchen. We're going to use this base game sink in that swatch. I think that's really pretty. I actually think that I like this a lot because what I want to do is go in with some columns. Okay, I actually feel really happy with this. I think we should go in with the touch of starlight pretty much anywhere square that we can. Yes! Yes, I love that. I just went ahead and placed these curtains from the paranormal pack. I think that this looks really pretty. I think I like this little chase from vampires, so I cluttered up this shelf with just a little stack of books and a candle. I just finished off that corner with a bookshelf and this adorable plant. For the moment, I am very much feeling the swatch. I just remembered that this is our, hello, Crystal Queen. We need to add a significant amount of crystals in here. All right, so far, these are the crystals I've added. I think this is looking super cute. Over on this wall leading into the kitchen and living room, I just popped in these crystal stick things. I want to now pop in this mirror. Oh. Yeah, no, we're gonna go for the white. I like the white. Well, or do I like the blue? I think I'm gonna go in with this lava lamp. It really gives a cool, moody energy to this area. And it makes me want to add one to this side too. Yeah, that's pretty cool. We'll be doing that. We are going to use this coffee table from For Rent. Then I think we're gonna go in with this armchair from Realm of Magic. I'm gonna add this stair railing from Vampires. I would like to circle back to the kitchen now. So folks, you're probably screaming at the top of your lungs, the trash can, the trash can. Listen, I haven't forgotten. It's just not a top priority at this time. It's probably going to get shoved into the front entry, if I'm being honest. Folks, look at that. I actually really, really like that. Hopefully I don't regret that, but I felt like this area needed just something else, and I think that that really ties the room together. As you can see, I didn't add much to the kitchen. So that being said, I believe that this is the living room and kitchen of our crystal, moon, and star fairy all complete. This room really turned out so cool. With that being said, why don't we go ahead and we will furnish the entrance room and then we will move on. That is going to be our entranceway all complete. I went ahead and added the touch of starlight basically everywhere down here, and it really, really added so much life to this build. I love this room. Feeling good about what I have so far. There's far more detail, obviously, that needs to be added, but I just wanted to pop in and show the updates that I've made so far. We're gonna go in with these side tables from Realm of Magic for now. I placed them and I don't know how I actually feel about them. It's quite hard to say at this time. Are these the same shade of brown? Folks, I literally can't tell. But I kind of like the mismatch. Yeah, I actually think that looks better, so we're gonna go for this. All right, this is what I have so far. I just added some clutter to the nightstands, and then I popped in this shelf over here and just put some random crystal clutter in there, so that's looking good. I'm gonna put a dresser here, and I just pulled that out so I didn't forget to use it, so let's find ourselves a dresser. All right, this is the dresser that I picked out. It's from Realm of Magic, and then I'm gonna put that stack of books on top of it. Okay, so over to this area, I added a fireplace, some crystals, and then the touch of starlight and a TV. I thought I was recording this part, couldn't tell you if I was or not, so yikes, but I would like to go in and get a couch for this area, or even maybe two, like, chairs, because the space is kind of tight. This is going to be our crystal fairy bedroom all complete. This is what this side of the room looks like. I think that this turned out really cool. All right, this is going to be our crystal room all complete. And then finally, to finish off this treehouse, we have the bathroom on the first floor. Very basic. Last but certainly not least, we have our flower, garden, nature, fairy treehouse to furnish. All right, so far this is what I have as far as the flooring and wallpapers go. I think we will start with the kitchen. I'm not sure which cupboards I want to use at this time. It's definitely cute, but I'm not 100% sold. And what do we know it, folks? Significant changes have been made. I was just not happy whatsoever with the wallpapers, the floors, anything. It just wasn't sitting right with me. And honestly, now that I'm inside this house, I wish that I had picked different windows, but there is truly no going back at this point, but I feel way happier with what I have going on now. It might seem a little bit random, but it'll all make sense. It will all make sense when we see what I'm trying to go for. Okay, so I've placed these countertops from Realm of Magic. Thank you. Yeah, that's gonna do. Oddly enough, we might have... It looks a little funky. It looks a little random. This is the vibe. This is the vision. We're gonna tie it together with so much clutter, okay, but this is what we have. Of course, the tried and true leafy curtains, we will be going in with these. We're gonna go with that base game sink. Is there like a... I've went ahead and popped these shelves up here, so now what we need to do is obviously clutter them. Okay, so with some cluttering, this is the kitchen. Pretty much complete. I still want to add a rug, and I obviously need to get a trash can, so let me do that. All right, so this is gonna be the kitchen all complete. I really like this, folks. I'm actually so happy with this. Okay, let's move on to the living room area. I went ahead and placed this bookshelf from base game. I honestly really like it. I think that it fits the vibes. Okay, so as of right now, this is what I have. I'm not thrilled with the... I'm not thrilled with this rug down here. I was looking at some of the other options, but I'm not trying to go for bunnies in here. Like, I don't know that that's quite the vibe. For right now, this is what I have, and I will say, I don't love it. I'm really, really struggling to find a rug that works in here, folks. Okay, I think I might like this a little bit better. It's still not my favorite. I'm not sold on the chairs, is my fear. Just placed these little mushroom seats there. I think those look really cute. Okay. Here we are with the finished living, dining, and kitchen for our garden flower fairy. We've got this side over here, and this is what our kitchen looks like over here. Off camera, I went ahead and pulled together the front entryway. It's really nothing special. I fear I just am ready to move on to the next thing. We are upstairs now. This is the bedroom, so of course, first things first, we need to pick a bed. I fear that this bed is the best bed for this room. I think it looks so nice in here, but the thing that sucks about using this bed is the way that I plan to decorate this room is going to feel way too similar to the Enchanted Garden bedroom in my last video. Ooh, that's a bit of a bummer. So I fear we're gonna have to pivot, even though I really like this bed. That kind of sucks, honestly. For now, okay, right, it's not my favorite, but for now, we might be able to make this bed work. Do I just prefer this swatch? I do. Of course, I went ahead and added the vine curtains to the windows. We're gonna go in with this desk from Realm of Magic. I think that's cute. And then I want to give this sim the typewriter. Yeah, that looks so cute. Okay, so I just went ahead and pulled this area together with some more plants, this tree, I can't remember if I already showed that, and then I put some pictures on the wall with a mirror, and then I also went ahead and put some curtains on this window right here. I just tied this area together with a bookshelf and a dresser and a mirror. I do want to add a little bit of clutter to this dresser, I'm just not sure what yet. This is how this side is coming together, and this is how I've pulled together this side of the room. I do want to finish this room off with a rug, so let's see which one will work for the space. Okay, and with the rugs placed, this is going to complete our flower garden fairy bedroom. This room turned out really, really cool. I like it a lot. All right, folks, this is going to conclude the Fairy Treehouse Village build. I am really, really, really happy with how this turned out. This is honestly one of the coolest, most detailed builds that I've ever made, honestly. It might be the most detailed and just extravagant, cool build that I've ever done. What I will say is that I was in the process of editing this video, going through each treehouse, when I just realized each treehouse simply needed more detail. I'm sorry, it just did. So I've gone ahead, obviously off camera, and just added little bits here and there to kind of really, really round out the build. And there's a couple things that I forgot in some of the tree houses, and I will walk you through those changes. So without further ado, let's do one final tour of our fairy treehouse village. Why don't we go ahead and start with our Gothic fairy treehouse? Folks, welcome to our new and improved Gothic fairy living room. The biggest change I would say is adding mushrooms all around. I also added the curtains from upstairs down here. This build needed to feel more whimsical and more fairy-like, so I really think that those curtains help achieve that. Over to this side, not much changed other than, again, adding some more mushrooms. And as you can see, I've obviously added the touch of starlight everywhere because it really just gives that fairy vibe. Next, in the bathroom, the only changes I made was adding some more clutter and stuff to the walls, and then I went ahead and popped those curtains into this room as well. Into this landing area, I went ahead and added string lights all along this wall. Obviously, you can see I also added mushrooms and a bunch of the touch of starlights. And then the only change I made to the office was added the curtains on the inside of the arch in order for it to give this kind of closed off effect. Last but not least, we have our Gothic fairy bedroom. Folks, come on now. This is way better than what I had before. The main difference being this touch of starlight all around and then these really, really cool lit up trees in the background that I've added as kind of like an additional headboard. I think this turned out really cool. And then the only difference over here is some more mushrooms, and then I switched out the TV for the framed one, and I think that that looks really pretty. Moving on to our next treehouse, we have our cottage core fairy treehouse. This one is so, so cute. As you can see, we've got all the little animals running around. So, so cool. Here we have our new and improved cottage core fairy living room. It's honestly pretty much the same other than the fact that I went and added so much touch of starlight and some flowers and mushrooms throughout this build. I also added the vine leafy curtains to the door. I think that's a really nice touch. Folks, please disregard this plate, okay? But the main changes in the kitchen are adding the leafy curtains and the touch of starlight. Then in the bathroom, I got rid of what I had here and added some shelving up there with the touch of starlight. I also added this framed photo. And then I just added some mushrooms down in that corner along with the leafy curtains. I hated the curtains that were up there before, so I got rid of those. Upstairs, I just added some more mushrooms and flowers. And then over to this side, I just added the touch of starlight with some more flowers and mushrooms on the floor. Now into this bedroom, you can see there's been some significant changes. So I changed the wallpaper. I needed it to match better with the rest of the house. The pink just completely sent it to a different vibe, so I'm much, much happier with how this turned out. And then over to this side, I just slid the vanity over a little bit so that I could fit a little cluster of mushrooms in there, and I think that that looks so cute. I almost forgot to show you the updated screened-in porch, so nothing really changed in this room other than adding some mushrooms in with the leafy curtains. Next, we will move on to our crystal moon star fairy. I added some of these glowing mushrooms around the build, and I think that they look really, really cool. This is our entryway for the crystal moon fairy. As promised, over to this side, I added a trash can. Okay, it's there. When you walk in from the entryway, you just enter down this really, really cool hallway that leads you into our kitchen, which is super cool and really, really pretty. Then you find yourselves in this incredible living room. This turned out so pretty. That's what this side looks like. Right here we have our bathroom, nothing too crazy in there. When you come up those stairs, you land into the crystal fairy bedroom. This turned out so cool. This is what this side looks like over here. I added mushrooms throughout. I think that this is really cute. This room right here is our crystal creation room. That's what this side looks like over here. Last but certainly not least, we have our flower garden fairy treehouse. I added this little patch of flowers to the front. I think that's really cute. When you come in through the front door, you enter into this little landing area. That's what this side looks like. Then you enter into this incredible living room. I truly couldn't be happier with how this whole area turned out. I would love to have this kitchen, honestly. It's so cool. Then you come up the stairs and you enter into our flower garden fairy bedroom. I riddled this place with flowers and with mushrooms, and I think that it is so cute. Here's a look into the bathroom. This is what this side looks like right here. All right, folks, that is going to officially complete the Fairy Treehouse Village build. I really hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing to my channel. And without further ado, folks, I will see you in my next video.